Yes, this is Ken Gale. This is Ken Gale. And he has a show on WBAI, Pacifica Radio in New York. Ecologic on Tuesday nights, every other Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And he's been a friend of the New York City Friends of Clearwater for a long time. And he always, he hates it when I say this. Because these environmental issues can be so complicated sometimes. And I feel confused as much as anybody else can be confused by things. And sometimes I refer to him as the adult in the room explaining it to us, you know. But I'd like to bring him up and ask him to tell us what's going on and what we should be on the lookout for. And he could talk about his show and what's next. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Gale.
Thanks, Joel, and thanks, John. This is our flyer for my radio show. This flyer's on the back table there. It's on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And this coming Tuesday, it's kind of appropriate to be here plugging it because I think that you can educate and activate with the arts better than pretty much anything else. And by the arts, I mean everything. Music, of course, graphic arts, movies, there's all kinds of ways to motivate people. People will listen to a song that has the same information that somebody like me will talk about. And they will listen to me talking about it, but they'll listen to the songwriter singing about it. They'll listen to the movie maker doing the movie about it. And this Tuesday, I have a bunch of graphic artists on the air talking about what they're doing. The latest issue of World War III Illustrated, which is like one of my favorite magazines ever, is dedicated to climate chaos. And Seth DeBachman and Peter Cooper and several other people have been guiding this magazine for 35 years. And they're on the cutting edge of art. But a lot of times people who are like art with a capital A, you don't know what the hell they're talking about because they're so involved with their art with a capital A that they don't communicate well. But with World War III Illustrated, they're communicating very important and sometimes complex political and social ideas. And they're reducing it down with words and pictures so that you can understand it. And sometimes they do it with humor as well, which I think is a skill that I just find amazing. And so that is this Tuesday. And I also want to mention a few things. New York City Friends of Clearwater has always been a multi-issue group. You have groups that are only involved with fracking, or only involved with nuclear power, or only involved with GMOs, or only involved with... Clearwater does so much because everything is connected to the water in some way. And so Clearwater has diversified. And what I've been seeing in the movement over the last bunch of years, I've been doing Ecologic since 2002, a lot of, I used to get emails, we have to stop this one coal plant. And they would just talk about one coal plant. Oh, we can't stop them all. And then after a little while, they said, we have to stop these 5 coal plants. And then we have to stop all the coal plants. But they don't want to deal with fracking, they don't want to deal with bomb trains, they don't want to deal with nuclear power. And meanwhile, New York City Friends of Clearwater has been dealing with all that all along. And then they started enlarging again, and talking about fracking, and talking about all poison power, including nuclear, and talking about the infrastructure. And it's something that's developing. I don't know if it's the maturation of environmentalists, or people getting together, or people having a few victories and wanting to enlarge their scope, but whatever's going on, more and more groups are being similar to what Clearwater's been doing all along in uniting what were never separate issues, but making them one. And there are still groups out there who don't want to hear about nuclear power, or they don't want to hear about bomb trains or whatever, which is ridiculous, because the industry, the nuclear industry, the fossil fuel companies, they work together all the time. Yeah. They work together to get laws passed, to make sure the poison power stays in place, and make sure that there isn't so much solar and wind. They can work together. We need to work together too. And that is happening. The big greens in Washington sometimes work together. Although it's funny how somebody at one of the big greens will unite them all, and they'll work together, and they'll have a couple meetings, and then they'll go their separate ways and never meet again until somebody else comes and brings them. But it's like they're competing. And I don't understand the competition aspect of the big greens, because they're all competing for this one small pie, as it were, and instead of enlarging it, and if everybody gets a piece of the bigger pie, then it doesn't matter. But they keep going after the same people. And that's another reason why music, and the music that Clearwater's been doing all this time, is so important, because you reach people who otherwise wouldn't go to a meeting. And that is so important. And sometimes, I'll be in the presence of people organizing a rally or a demonstration, and I go, what about the music? And they go, oh, we don't have time for that. And it's like, wait a minute. A songwriter can say in 2 minutes and 50 seconds what it takes your speech guys 10 and 15 minutes to say. Give them their 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And Ray Corona is always quick to point out, well, yeah, but it took us hours and hours and hours to reduce it to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I go, fine, you do the work, and we get the benefit of all your work and all your time. And it's something very important. And then I'll bring up to people, if they're old enough, how many speeches do you remember from the Vietnam War? How many songs do you remember from the Vietnam War? What stays with you? Joe Hill, involved in union organizing in the 1930s, right? Well, he was saying that you sing a song, you do a speech, and they listen to the speech and they applaud, and they leave the room. You sing a song, they applaud, and they go out of the room, and they're still singing the song. And they're singing it when they get home, and they're singing it when they get to work. Songs are so much more powerful. Just as cartoons are more powerful and films are more powerful, everything is, when it comes with the arts, you can do so much more. So I'm going to stop talking so you guys can hear more arts. Thank you.